Could this be proof that aliens exist? Mick Miners was terrified. He stood frozen in place, eyes wide open, staring at the mysterious, large, dark object that had just crashed down on his property. The black, 9 feet tall spike had smoke trailing off it as it had just passed through the ozone layer. This was supposed to be just a regular day like all the others. Now, everything was about to change. The large, mysterious spike was still quivering from the impact when Mick finally found the courage to come a little closer. It had first reminded him of a burnt tree, but now that he could take a good look at it, he was sure that it was something more advanced. It looked like a piece of farm equipment, but then a lot more high-tech. Pretty frightening, actually, Mick Miners, 48, explained on the phone when news reporters called him about this find. "I was quite surprised. This isn't something you normally see every day on a sheep farm." Mick explained that he had taken a picture of the object and had sent it to a neighboring farmer, Jock Wallace. He couldn't have expected the reply he got from his neighbor. It would make things a lot stranger. Mick's neighbor replied that he had found a similar mysterious object on his 5,000-acre property. This news chilled Mick to the bone. One piece of strange equipment crashing down from the sky is one thing, but two. What did this mean? Were these the first signs of an alien invasion? They decided to call an expert to come take a look at the mysterious objects. It didn't take long for the expert to show up, but he didn't come alone. Trailing him was an entire column of military vehicles, and the soldiers in them looked on edge. Mick and Jock didn't even get a chance to explain what had happened before they were ushered into a quickly set-up military command tent. The army was taking over the investigation. Mick and Jock were kept in the dark. What was happening? Why was everyone so on edge? During the next few hours, the tent saw a coming and going of military personnel, speaking in hushed tones. Mick and Jock had no idea what was going on outside and were forced to stay and wait until someone would take the effort of telling them what was going on. Finally, one of the higher-ranked soldiers approached them and told them what was happening. The soldier confirmed that the object had come from outer space. The reason why they had reacted so swiftly and en masse was because of a national protocol for anything regarding a possible alien encounter. Luckily, he told them this wasn't one. But then where did the object come from? Mick and Jock soon learned the truth. The experts had called around and had found out that this object belonged to SpaceX, Elon Musk's private space exploration company. SpaceX had confirmed that the object was likely the remaining part, a trunk segment from one of their spacecrafts, used by the Crew 1 mission in May of the previous year. Space debris is equipment in space that has served its use or no longer works. Most space debris actually burns up while re-entering the atmosphere. Whatever remains usually falls in the ocean. Today, however, with more spaceships entering orbit, such as those from SpaceX, impacts on inhabited land may happen more often. SpaceX refused to respond to a request by local newspapers, asking them for further information about the incident. It was a bit surprising to me that so much of the trunk survived the heating process of re-entry, Dr. McDowell, an astrophysicist, said, but he added that there was no indication that there was anything particularly risky about the object. He did admit that SpaceX wasn't very open about their risk assessments. With more information, we could have a better assessment of, did we just get really unlucky, or should we expect this from all the trunk re-entries if they happen over land? McDowell claimed. Mick Miners enjoyed learning the details about how the debris had ended up on his sheep farm. He was not sure what would happen next. He would be happy to keep it, he said, but was also interested in a bit of compensation if the space agencies or company wanted it back. "My guess is they'll want it back," Mick added. I don't know anything about it. As I said, I'm a sheep farmer.